Hi, everybody. This is Victoria Delgadillo from Self-Help Graphics and Arts. I'm one of the Barrio Mobile art studio artists. And this month is Latino History Month. So last year I was the artist that did last year's Latino History Month. So maybe it's a thing, I don't know. Last year I did kind of a watercolor class with coffee, staining the paper with coffee. So you can look that one up. If you like this one, you might like that one too. And it'll be under Self-Help Graphics, video archive. And you can get to that through the website, selfhelpgraphics.com. And so today we're going to do, for Latino History Month, we're doing a self-portrait, and it'll also be in watercolor because I'm in demand for that. And it'll be fun. It'll be simple. It's not, there'll be something to challenge the experienced artists and of course the beginning artists as well. So I think you will enjoy it. And so let's start. So this is my inspiration image. And it is a print that was created at Self-Help Graphics. It's called Hard to Swallow. And you see he has a swallow in his mouth. And this artist is Rigoberto Maldonado, a friend of mine. So that's a self-portrait. And pretty much the symbol of the bird in his mouth is kind of like he's not able to, he's in a place in his life where he's not able to make a comment, which I think right now a lot of us feel that way. So so it's kind of a place where he is not able to speak because there's too much going on. We won't put the bird in our mouth, but maybe we will have a little bird somewhere in our self-portrait. So first of all, I wanted to talk to you about materials. And let's see. So the brushes are very important. And these are the types of brushes that you would use. There is a materials list on the website or on where you're watching this video so that you can have the materials ready. And what's really cool about filming in video is that you can pause me. You can repeat if you like something I said, you can go back. You can stop it, go and buy the materials, come back and then get started. So there's a lot of options when it is pre-recorded. Okay, so yes, you can see some of these brushes. This is a flat brush. And this one right here, let's go one by one. This is a flat brush. And what makes it a watercolor brush as compared to an acrylic brush or oil painting brush is that it's a real short one. The little holder is short because pretty much watercoloring, you do it on smaller paper. That's why it's short and it's very personal. It's up close. So this is called a flat brush. This one's a beveled one. So you could see that the edge is beveled. Of course, also in a little, see that right there? I mark my my watercolor brushes with a pink tape so that when I take them somewhere, people can't take my brushes. Some of these brushes I've had for over 20 years. They last forever. They're made out of sable, the better ones. For practicing, you can get just some, like a little kit that has several different shapes on it, so you can practice. The thing about watercolor brushes is very important. Is that here's my water? Is that when you put it in the water? What makes a good watercolor brush is when it's in the water and then when you use it, when you press down to watercolor, that the point comes back up again. See how it kind of bounces up? You don't want a brush that you have to drag because then it's a drag. It's not going to work for you. You need it. So, protecting your watercolor brushes is important. So don't ever leave it like I just did in the water, because then you're going to bend that ability for the brush to spring back. So, and watercoloring is a really clean, easy cleanup. You just, do that, move it around in the water, and then you can dry it with a little paper towel. And then voila, it's done. Same thing with the tints. You just clean it up with a little bit of water. But here's, okay, so let's go on to, this is another brush. So pretty much these two brushes right here are the same brush, except one is really tiny and one is not. It's got the same point. And here's another beveled one, like the one I showed you before. That one is also, they're the same brush, except one's got a little bevel. So the littler brushes are for details. So pretty much in essence, when you start off, you're gonna start making your, when you do a watercolor, you wanna start with your biggest brush first, which are these flat ones. And then you move to the second size brush, which are like this middle size type brush that, to do details like shadowing and stuff. And then when you finish, your last brush you're going to use are these really fine point brushes. Maybe not that one, this one. The fine point brushes to do like details if you want to outline something. These are the best ones. So pretty much in essence, you only need these three brushes right here. And that's like that. And you can do a painting, maybe this one too. I like this one. So that you only need to use three brushes. I guess I prefer this one to this one. I don't usually, you could tell I hardly use that one. So these are my three brushes that I usually use when I paint. And then, so let's talk about paper. I suggested that, that you get the watercolor paper. I guess it's a big white blob on there, but I use this brand called Arches, and it's 140 pounds. That means if you get 100 sheets of this paper in a stack, it's going to weigh 140. So the thicker the paper is, the more the poundage is going to be. And so this is called hot press, which means when they run it through the printer, through the processing machine, it's with like an iron. So it makes it real smooth. Some people like their paper with texture. It's a 100% cotton, which is important because when you're painting with watercolor, you're kind of dyeing. You're dyeing the paper, so you need a paper that will resist a lot of water. And so this is a 9.5 by 12 that I'm using today for this demonstration on self-portraits. And then, okay, I just bought this kit. It's Kurataki Japanese watercolors. And so it's not that expensive. They make smaller kits, but you can tell it has all the colors that you need, all the colors of the rainbow. And if you notice on here, actually, I'm gonna lie because there is a white, but it's more like silver, that you don't really use white paint when you paint watercolors, because your paper is your paper is the white. For example, let me show you this image here. So this print, this watercolor, it's not that good. Let's see. Okay, this watercolor here, I don't know why the light's so weird on it. So of this little girl, she's wearing a white dress. Maybe that's why, because it had so much white in it. So pretty much when this painting, this watercoloring was created, they just painted the portions which are like her neck and her face, her hair, but the clothing is all just white paper. Maybe they put a shadow here so you could tell that she's wearing a dress, and then this sofa, they put some 2 lines to represent it's a cushion. So pretty much in watercoloring, you're gonna just reserve your white areas so that you can not use white paint. So that the way, one way to reserve your white areas is to use on your paper, just like a wax candle like this one. And you put it on your, you're gonna put it on your paper here, for example. And then when you paint with your watercolors, that area won't get color on it. You'll try to avoid it because you want the rest to be, you want it to be white, but in case you get too close, this the wax will keep it from painting. Kind of like here. Okay, let's see, where is my, I'm not liking the lighting here. Okay. So anyway, the next thing I wanted to talk to you about, we talked about paper, watercolor, oh, the paint. So then when you start off painting and you have your little cakes like this, you have to refresh them. Which is by getting a spray ball of water. Water. A little spray bottle with water, and then you just spritz them, and then they revive. So that way, the cool thing about doing watercolors is that you always, these paints can last forever. Oh, I wanted to show you some other ways to, other than just the cakes. There's also, there's pencils that you can use that are watercolor pencils. And the way you use these, I guess, is you can use it either way, by dipping it in the water first and then putting it on your paper. Or and then you would get your brush and then blend it in, right, like that. So you make it kind of, or you can use the just use the pencil on water itself. So it kind of blends in there. Then I just bought these, and these little pencils come in kits, so you can buy a kit of the whole kit, or else separate. They come separate also. I think it's good to get them on sale. I bought a bunch at Dick Blick, and they were 99 cents each on sale. So I bought a bunch of different colors that the kit didn't have. And what these are really good for is if you're going to draw your image and you don't want to use a pencil, you could use this watercolor pencil to draw your whatever you're going to draw. And then it kind of blends in with the water while you're when you're doing this. And also I just bought these watercolor pens. So I haven't used them, but they have they're already mixed with water, so they're really easy to apply. And I think I always buy everything on sale because I'm a cheapskate. So you can get some good deals, but that's what that would look like. So you can also use these types. All right, let's get to the class. Let's get busy on our drawing. So if you have your paper, I would suggest that you leave it on the tablet. There's a way to kind of tighten this the tablet down. I mean, strap the paper down, but just leave the paper in your tablet. So this is the top page, because when you start putting water on it, it'll get it'll crinkle up just like cotton crinkles up. It'll start crinkling up. So it's best just to leave it like it is. We won't use that much water. So the image. So let's talk about the first step to doing your self-portrait is over here on this piece of paper. So we're going to, I'm going to use a pencil. And you can erase the pencil marks after you do your drawing, because the paper will be stained by the watercolor, and it will allow you to erase, use the eraser to erase any marks you don't want, or you can leave it, doesn't matter. So when you're drawing the reason I picked this self-portrait is because it's not going to be like totally like a photograph. We're just going to do a image of ourselves in kind of from our memory, because I think sometimes you learn how to draw you learn the design of your face because you look at yourself so often in the mirror, right? So let's see, why is it, let's get this. So a face starts off in an oval kind of. Right, it's an oval, maybe. Pretty much everybody's face starts off in an oval like that. And then halfway, this is a kind of, in order to be biologically correct, you need to find the middle point between your top of your head and your bottom. And your eyes actually fit in the halfway point of your face. It seems like it would be up here, but it isn't. So then your eyes, I always think my eyes are small, but I think but I don't think they are. I guess they're big. So so I'm just going to do like a simple, I guess I should mention that your nose is halfway. Okay, your nose comes between the point where your eyes are and your chin is. It comes halfway there. And I draw these lines kind of like not straight across, but kind of in a curve, because your head's curved, right? And then the lips are going to be halfway between the bottom of your nose and your chin. So that would probably be here. So let's see, eyes. Okay, so the eyes are like a ball. You know, you have like your eye is like this, but this part covers the entire top part that's inside. So you can create your eyelid. Okay, I don't want to see that top ball, because the top of the ball, we don't see it. And then you have a little tear duct. Everybody does right there. And then I'm making myself really cute, by the way. And then because that's how I see myself, I guess. So it's okay. You can use a photograph, you can use a mirror of yourself if you want, if you are not, feel like you're not really, you don't really know your face. And then self-portraits are very popular among artists. So then the way the eye fits, so then you notice in the middle of your eye, there's like a dark circle, that's your pupil. So I'll draw the pupil in, which gives it a little bit more reality. Ooh, that's looking strange. Okay, that looks good. And your eyelid. So then, okay, my eyebrows, I paint them like this, but I'm sure they're like different. I kind of square them off. And your eyelids come, your eyebrows come like at the, I guess the top of your, where your nose is. So just go like this. And then this is going to be the bottom of my nose. So then the holes on your nose are important. And then I have a very Mexican nose. It kind of curves down. Nariz aguileña, as I say. So then there's there's the part of the nose that kind of sticks out like that. Maybe my nostrils aren't that wide. A little bit wide. And fun fact or scientific fact, everybody, is that when you, the reason, what's important when you paint and when you draw is to the shadowing, because the shadowing actually identifies who you are. Imagine going into a dark room and there's somebody in there not speaking, so you don't know who it is. You wouldn't be able to identify them because it's like dark. So in order for you to identify objects, you need to have light and shadow. Same thing if you went into a room and the light was so bright, your eyes would tear and you wouldn't be able to see things well because there's no shadow. So it's important to put the shadowing in so that you can create. The more shadowing that you pay attention to, the more you can create a real authentic image that looks more realistic. But in this point, we're not really going to, we don't have to do all that, but I'm just reminding you to look at shadows when you look at images, even your own in your mirror or as a picture. So then my nose kind of goes like that, I think. Okay, but this is not a drawing class, so I don't want to get too involved in the drawing, and we can also add some of these details using the watercolor medium, the watercolor paintbrush, and fix it if we didn't like it, like I just did now. I go, my nose isn't that way. Okay, so then what is Latino? Like I went and did my DNA, and it turns out I have like 50% Purupecha, which is native Indian from Mexico. And then I have the rest is like, I don't know how these people got in my family, but like Europeans, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, crazy. So it makes you think, like what exactly is a Latino, or what, I'm sorry, I'm keep doing my nose so weird here. Okay, I guess I am symmetrical actually. So there you go. I'm like better. Okay, and then I'll fix it. So then, because I have indigenous heritage, my cheekbones are high. So my cheekbones are kind of like that. And then it comes down to the point, right? And then my lips, I have that like a thick lip on the bottom and a thin lip on the top, kind of. And they're crooked, and I'm always smirking. I don't have like a, if you want to do yourself more with a smile and your teeth showing, so then you would just open this portion more. So like I was mentioning shadows and getting those in. So you can determine a person's age with the shadows as well, because there'll be places on the face where you where there would be creases, right? And so then those creases would have dark shadows, and then you could see, oh yeah, that person's older in the image. But I always do myself really young and hot, so. And I have bangs, which are about here. So in between your eyes and the top of your head would be your hairline. So I do like my bangs. And I have short hair right now. Oh, and then I guess I'll just cover. So we're not going to do ears today. We're just going to do kind of, so here's my puro pecha cheekbones and which are kind of round, and then my oh, my neck, I need my neck. So the neck is the top of your skull, kind of goes straight down here. The fullest part of your head is your neck. So it kind of goes between, not so little. So let me get rid of a lot of this stuff I did that I don't need. I guess we can get rid of these lines for now. These guidance lines. And so now we're going to be ready to paint. So grab your materials. So I was saying that, yeah, what is Latino? If, you know, like in my family, we would, my family ancestors came from Mexico. But like I didn't grow up with traditional like Mexican food and traditions in my house, because they kind of lost that, I think. They got too American. So in my home, traditional food is like Italian, Chinese, American hamburgers and things like that. So even I have to go to to a Mexican restaurant to have the cuisine of my country, of my native heritage country, which is a good thing to do when we're celebrating Latino heritage, is to go out and try different types of Latino food, and see what that's like. That we're so lucky to live in Los Angeles that we have all that available to us. Okay, so that's pretty much, is that me? Kind of. All right, so now let's get to painting. So I'm gonna do a little, give you some information on colors, because we have different skin tones, right? Since I went swimming all this month to what happened to my, I lost my paper. I've been swimming in Alhambra to the plunge. I'm kind of dark right now. My darkest I've been in a while. So I've already like watered my my palette. So from the palette, where the cakes are, I kind of drag the paint to this other little side palette that I have, so that I could do the mixing here. It makes it easier. So for skin tones that are light, you would probably want to use a little red and a little yellow. Like a red, would suggest alizarin red, which I don't have in this. Let's do cadmium red. So the different colors have different, they're made of different things, you know, like some of them are rocks and some of them are, usually with the watercolors, it's all organic. That's why they kind of cost a little bit more, the paints. So red and then a little yellow, a light yellow, like this light. So then you're kind of getting a light tone. So that if you're fair skin, that would probably be a good color for you. And of course, if you add more water, you can kind of lighten that a little bit. Also, my favorite thing to make things stop dripping is the paper towel. So the paper towel can, if you get it while it's still wet, you can even lighten it more. So that's light fair skin, which was a little yellow and red. So pretty much all of these are going to be yellow and red. It just depends on the type of red and yellow that you're using. So then the medium, I would use a, let's see, done with this guy. For a medium complexion, which I used to be before I went swimming a lot, that would be also like a cadmium red, which is the one we used before, with a cadmium red, with a yellow, but a little more intense yellow, maybe like the Aurelian or cadmium yellow. Let's try cadmium yellow. So you see, and it depends on how much yellow and red that you put in your so this would be like a medium complected person. Oops. So that's this color here, and you can see how it's a lot more intense than the fair skin color. So then our last one would be someone who's darker, the darkest color. Nobody is really like super brown or super black or super white. There's different colors in your skin, and it's not any one color particularly. You just try and kind of match it. But so for the darkest skin, we'll use like also again, they're all made of the same thing, cadmium red, which is this one. And then we're going to add some yellow ochre, which is this kind of a really rich, has like brown in it or something, right? So that makes a really darker. I'll put a little bit more. And then the in this darkest pigment, you're going to add some brown. And a good one is raw sienna, which is not super dark, but it you can see it here. It's like kind of, but it gives like this color, like a lot of warmth and beauty. So then that'll be our darkest color. Okay, so then for me, since like I said, and if you want to go darker than that, play around with the other colors. Maybe I have a little bit of a raw umber on here to really go darker. If you think that would work best. So then that's, the next step up, maybe a little bit more. So that might be the next step up that you want to use. Okay, that's color. So let me color me in this image here. So as I mentioned before about the shadowing, so I guess I'll start, I'm starting with I should start with, I mentioned before, with my brush that is the darkest. I mean, the largest, I'm sorry, the largest brush that I have, because that would be for the largest washes. So I'm gonna keep the paint that I just mixed, which is for the darkest skin. I'm gonna just add a little bit more yellow to it to make it yellow and red, a little yellow, a little red to kind of like. And so this will be for my my shadowy areas. So I know that under my neck there's shadow. Because your chin actually gives your a shadow underneath your face, and it's always your neck is always looks darker because of the shadowing and the light. And then I'm going to put a little bit more yellow. So I'm going to pick that the light is coming from this direction here. That the light is coming from this direction. That way, everything on this side is kind of going to be light, and everything on this side is going to be a little bit darker. So this is a little bit darker. Woo, I'm yellow. That's okay. So if you notice under your eyes, it's kind of lighter. So that's where the shadow is. Most of the shadow lies right by your nose. And so I'm going to do this whole side kind of in this, the darker. And when you're watercoloring, you don't have to paint every single, what do you call it? Every space. It's okay to leave a little bit of white, especially like in your eyes. There's a part in your eye that's white. And if it's where the light shines in your eyes, if you've noticed that, there's a little portion that is white. So then let's see. So then this here, my mouth kind of goes like that. And then to define, I have like a, and also paint in the direction that the that your face is, right? Like since it's my face goes around here, I want to paint in that round direction here, and I might put a little bit more color in here because I have like some wrinkly here, showing my age. And so then the other side is going to be the light, right? On this side, I might even leave some of this white. And so when you watercolor the colors, when they dry, they might dry lighter than you apply them. So you could just go back and add some more if you want. And for my hair, there's no such thing as black hair unless you dye it. So it's usually very dark brown. So I'm applying some dark brown. And as you can see, you don't have to draw every hair. You can just do blocks of hair. This is blocks of my hair. I might leave that light right there, just because sometimes your hair has some shine in it, right? This is my latest cut. I cut my own hair, FYI. There's that TMI. Okay, so then that's kind of like what my hair looks like. My hair is, so I might leave some of these little places where it's like not so intense, because remember, this is our light side and this is our dark side. Oops, sorry. And for my nose, I'm gonna get a smaller brush, and then your nose, the lightest part is right down the center. And so then on the shadow side, that's where my nose will be darker. Right? And on the other side, that's where my nose will be lighter. So you can use a combo of any of these, the skin colors that I demonstrated to you to create this. So you're going to leave this space right here whitish. And my eyes are brown, but in the light, they look kind of brown, dark brown. And as I mentioned, this is gonna be black, but we're gonna reserve a little space right here that's white, because that gives you the realism in your eyes. So then I'm gonna use a dark brown to do my eyes. Oops. And I need to make sure I reserve that spot there. It's gonna be white. I'm not gonna touch it because it's gonna be the paper, right? So I could let this dry, but I'm gonna kind of force dry it a little bit. Oops. And then the dot, the middle of my pupil is gonna be really black. Here. I need to distinguish it from the rest of my eye. Oops, sorry. And my eyebrows, also like a little dark brown, like the hair. And how did I shape on this last time? Okay, I think I like my eyebrows like that. Another thing about your nose is that it's kind of, your nostrils aren't solid black, they're kind of red because it's warm inside your nose. So it's good to use like a little red with a little brown in your nose, the nose hole. So that it's alive. I would, the only way you would use black on watercolors would be when you are doing the pupil. So try and think of other colors that would, you can replace black with, like dark blue, dark green, a dark brown with blue. That would make a beautiful combination. And then you make the painting look more interesting. And I gave you a lesson on the skin tones, but in reality, it's your painting. You can paint whatever color you want, right? Let me do my light side in the light blue, because my blue is my favorite color. Blue is my favorite color. I'll put some on my neck too. And I'm using a turquoise blue here. Kind of makes you think of like veins. You know how veins, people have veins and then they're blue. So some people's, their skin is very fair, and you can see the blue. If you pay attention, don't stare at them. You can see the blue in their skin tone. So as an artist, these are the things you're looking for, like how the skin changes from one area to another, the shadows. So on my eye here, I'm going to outline it with the finest brush I have. So I'm gonna put eyeliner on myself to make myself cute. And then I'm gonna outline the eyeball too with a little bit of dark color. Dark brown or black is okay. Same with this one. I'm going to do the outline, my lashes. I made that more dramatic, so I guess I have to do the same over here. And of course, when you paint your lips, your lips are dark on the top side, and then they're on the bottom because the light hits down on your face. Just like you have this white area for your nose, on your lips, it's the same thing because the light hits not your top lip, but your bottom lip. So the top lip will be a lot darker than the bottom lip, usually. And I'm putting red because I have red lipstick on, but if you want to, and I like red lipstick, if your lips are usually no lipstick, then you would use like a brown or the next color up of what your skin tone is, because you want to define your lips. And so on here, I'm just going to put a little bit of color, not too much, and a little shadow maybe, which you can't see. So actually, if you notice, I'm defining my bottom lip by the shadow, not necessarily by what color I put in the lips. I look dramatic in that. Oh my God, I'm so sad. I hate that. It's Latino heritage. We should go out and have some fun food and listen to some Latino music. I like salsa. But anyway, that's why I grew up in San Diego, but that's why I moved to LA, because I love the variety that you get here. It's such a blessing to be somewhere where there's so many different people. And okay, so I think I overdid it with this going out too much. So I put some clean water on my brush, and then I'm just lightly going to scrub that out. And then I'm going to pick it up with a little paper towel. So I could get rid of that by continuing that process. Little scrub. Little clear water, dabbing it, clear water, dabbing it here. So that looks better. And also over here, this little part, I went too far on it, I think. But it's okay, it could be part of the eyelid, right? Okay, now this eye is wider than that one. So I need to add some more here, I think. Maybe color in my eyelids. And what happened to my hair? It's like I don't have hair on this side. I have hair on both sides, actually. But maybe I have like a high-low, right? Have you ever heard of a high-low hairdo where it's short on one side and long on the other? Maybe that's a very punk, I guess. It would need a mohawk, right? Okay, so then my background, I am going to simply put a good color that I like, oops, which I mentioned is blue. My good favorite color is, actually my whole house is decorated in blue because I like, me and Elvis, we love us some blue. Okay, so I'm going to, on the dark side, just like the shadow. So your wall behind your head is also going to be the darkest part. And at this point, you can kind of shape the head with your darkest color if you want to. If you think it needs shaping. Mm-hmm. So the type of watercolor that we're doing is wet on dry. This whole project was wet watercolor on dry paper. So there's ways you can do wet the paper and then put wet paint on it, and you get like these different, for example, like right here, I just did that. So let's put another color in there. I'll put some, I don't know, I'm sure it'll be weird. Let's see, on the wet, and I'm gonna put some yellow. So it should make green, which there you can see it's starting to explode, right? Because I wet the paper and then I put another color on top. And now it's kind of moving. But if it goes too crazy, you can dab it up with the paper. Maybe that's too intense, I don't know. So you can make different, you can also use a little sponge if you have like a piece of sponge. So I kind of made it look like a cloud right next to my head. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I mean, of course, you can go back. I would go back and add some more color. I kind of like that it doesn't have too much color, but add some more color to my cheeks maybe. So I look rosy. But not too like a doll, close, a living doll. And then maybe I want to define my neckline a little bit better here. Make the shadow a little bit more interesting and blue. Now I feel like since I put that blue, my lips are too light. So I'm gonna go with a little bit more red. And also I mentioned before that when it dries, it goes lighter. So you probably should come back and hit it a little bit more, as many times as you like, until you get the intensity that you want. And as I mentioned before as well, when you finish, you can use the eraser and get rid of, let me get a clean eraser because I have all these smudged up erasers. You can get rid of some of these lines that maybe you don't need. And it doesn't take away from your image to erase the lines that you made with the pencil. Oops, it's a drawing. Oops. I think that was still wet. Okay. Well. So you can see here that I erased the lines. And the image stayed the same without that's still wet, without losing the I need to get rid of this line that I used to show you where the eyes sit. Okay. I don't know, like I said, I always make myself really hot. But I mean, the more you paint on it, the more intense it will get, the more shadowing you want. And then it becomes more realism. I feel like my hair and everything is the same color, so I would go back and do some more dark. And then let that dry and see how that comes out. And if I felt I went too overboard, I could you know, dab it up when it's still wet with the paper towel. This is me and I'm sticking to it. This is me like maybe 4 years ago. But if I get into the all my little wrinkles and stuff, it'll be more up to date. Anyway, that's pretty much it today, everybody. I hope you like being here with me, and I hope you like the workshop, and I hope you like being here today, and that you'll come back and you can use this come back several times and do a different portrait, and every time you're going to get a different result. And the more you practice, the better you become at being an artist. That's the key. It's like going back. And I wanted to mention that people say that art is healing, and this is a really good way for you to have a little time to yourself when you're creating something. Your mind is not thinking about some argument or something you saw on television or something that happened at school or in your workplace. Your mind is just focused on creating art, and it's a good rest for your mind and your body to have that outlet to create art and make you know, give your mind a rest, at least for an hour or two or more. You can lock yourself in your room and create some cool art. Anyway, happy Latino Heritage Month, rather. Happy Latino Heritage Month from Self-Help Graphics and Art. And we hope that you'll explore some of our other video tapings and enjoy them and give us some feedback. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you. Bye.